John Lusk here of Lusk Archery Adventures. Serious testing, successful hunting. Today I'm going to be testing another tooth of the arrow broadhead. You might have seen some of my other videos testing tooth of the arrow heads, and if you haven't, just go to the search bar on YouTube and type in tooth of the arrow and then Lusk, and all of them will come up. I've tested them quite a bit, the original size and the XL, but today I'm going to be testing the XL Solid, okay? They've recently come out with this one, and man, this is a magnum beefcake of a head. I'm really eager to put this to the test and see how it performs. And for all these tests, I'm using my Bowtech SR6, set at 72 pounds. I'm using Bishop FOC King Arrows, and for the hard impact tests, I'm using Bishop FAD Eliminator arrows. And for a detailed description of all the tests that I'm doing and explanation, you can read about that in the description box below this video. But let's zoom on in here, go through some of the design features and specifications, and then put it to the test. And I do want to say I'm also going to be testing side by side the original and the XL vented in some of the tests just for comparative purposes, so you can see how the XL Solid compares to their other models. Let's check it out. Here's the XL Solid close up, and what a wicked looking head this is. Like all the tooth of the arrows, it's 4 blades, solid construction. It's machined from a solid chunk of steel, 11L41 steel, and brought to a Rockwell hardness of 45. Now, they found that to be a good balance between being hard enough to handle heavy bone and so forth, and yet soft enough to be able to be relatively easily resharpened. It's coated with a black oxide to be able to resist the glare of the sun. Now, some of the things that are unique about all the tooth of the arrows is the weight. 80% of the weight of the broadhead is contained within the diameter of your arrow shaft. And that just means that it's going to fly really well. It's very concentric and is going to spin very well because the weight is all mostly just centered right in the very center. Now, again, like all the other tooth of the arrows, it's really short. For having such a wide cut, it's really short. It's 0.83 inches long. The original, okay, the 1-inch cut model, that's 0.77 inches long, so super short. Even this big XL is still just under 0.9 inches, 0.83 inches long. The cutting diameter is a whopping 1 3/16 inches. So with 4 blades, you're getting about 2.4 inches of cut. And from the other heads that I've tested from them, man, they make incredible holes beyond what the cutting diameter really shows. There's something about the way they're designed that makes a really nice hole. So I am eager to put this to the test, this solid, non-vented one. .225. The XL Solid penetrated 7 inches. .300. The original penetrated through 63 layers. The XL penetrated through 55 layers, and the XL Solid penetrated through 56 layers. Here's the tooth of the arrow XL Solid after 5 shots through the steel plate, and it held up extremely well. One of the blades has a little bit of chatter right there. Yeah, just one. This one I thought did, but it didn't. A little bit of edge chatter. Otherwise, you can't even tell it's been shot. Spins perfectly fine. Tip is in great shape. And check out the holes made by this XL Solid. Man, I just can't say enough about these holes. I mean, some 4 blades just make like a little round hole for the shaft and 4 slits coming out of it. But the tooth of the arrows just take a square chunk out of whatever they hit. It's really remarkable. And you can compare it here in this steel plate to some of the other 2-blade single bevel heads that I tested previously and just see the massive difference in the hole size. I get a lot of questions about how to effectively sharpen tooth of the arrow broadheads. And typically over the years, I've just used a thin stone, all right? And it's worked very well, just various grits. But I decided to pick up one of their sharpeners that they sell on their site. They're specifically designed for tooth of the arrow. Stay Sharp Guide used to make one, but now they don't make it anymore. So this is the one that's designed specifically for tooth of the arrow on the Tooth of the Arrow website. And it's just all preset angles. So what you do is you just lay the broadhead in there like that, and then you just stroke, okay? And probably best to go backwards like this. But you just stroke it just like you would a 60-degree 3-blade when you just stroke it on a flat stone. It basically works in that same way. And so what you got to do is just make sure that you do even strokes, even numbers on each of the sides, but you're covering 2 blades with each stroke. And you're able to get a really nice edge to it if you use this. Then if you want to go even finer than that, then you can just hand sharpen, polish that last little bit using an even finer grit. Just do it by hand. Make sure you find the bevel. But these just work really good for quick sharpening and quick touching up of the edges. Here's the Tooth of the Arrow XL Solid after impacting the concrete. As you can see, it held together very well. The blades experienced really no edge chatter. The tip is perfectly intact and it still spins very well. Even though this is relatively softer steel, because of its structural design and the way the weight is centered like it is, it's very sound and stable in hard impacts like that. So what'd you think of the Tooth of the Arrow XL Solid? Man, I gotta tell you, I really like this head. What's not to like about it? In the flight, it flew like really well and was very quiet in flight compared to their vented heads, if that matters to you. And that extra weight of being 175 grains doesn't affect the trajectory, especially in shorter shots, doesn't affect it as much as you may think, and it does increase the momentum a bit. So if you're looking for a really tough broadhead to make a nice big hole in animals, this is definitely worth a look. And with the ability to be resharpened using the sharpener that they sell for not very much money, it's really extra worth a look. So check out Tooth of the Arrow and feel free to use my discount code. Because they're a direct-to-consumer company, they gave me a discount code. You can type in LUSK, L-U-S-K 19, LUSK 19, and you get 15% off anything on their site. So great job, Tooth of the Arrow. Check them out and check out the score sheets that I'm going to post right here to see how they performed in the areas that matter to you the most.